Yay, that was Said to Me, and that was Callous. So welcome to Brickmakers Live on air, and also welcome to Brickmakers Live stream on Facebook. Hope you're all doing okay, guys. We're going to be speaking to Charlie and Andy from Blind Tiger in about 3 or 4 minutes. Before I do that, I'm going to play the video collaboration, the Fearless video that they've done, especially for the Save Our Venues campaign. Here we go. Let's have a look at this.
Sometimes things can get a bit crazy. It's not always plain sailing, but you can't always run. So when you're stuck in the heart of darkness, you're brought there by your blindness. You must stand there and be strong.
You must follow the road that leads to home, however long it goes. 'Cause when there's bad
That was Fearless there, Blind Tiger and the Bricky's Family collaboration. Hopefully I've got them on the line if I've done it right. Are you there, boys? You can take your mics off now. You're on mute still. Come on, unmute your mics. No, yeah, are you there? Andy? I love this. Guys, are you there? Unmute. Come on, you can do this. Haha, there you are. I was like, come on, unmute. You were looking at me blankly.
How's it going?
I was like, oh my God, have they actually frozen or something? How are you? Are you all good?
We can't actually hear you on this stream.
You can't hear
I
me?
can hear Andy.
You can't hear me on the stream. Hang on just 1 second. The thing is, I've got way... Hang on. Oh, this is hilarious. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
It's
there we
so
go.
funny.
There
I've got way
can
too
hear
many
you.
programs open here. Honestly, it's crazy.
Amazing.
I've got three monitors in front of me. I've got about 8 pieces of software open just to try and make this happen. And I've got buttons all over the shop. I don't know what
Just
I'm doing.
spinning plates.
Don't worry. Andy's computer still runs on coal, so I won't worry.
Brilliant. So how are you lot?
It does.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Hooray.
You know, keep busy,
Good lad.
as you saw.
Yes, I did. It was. Oh, do you know what? Every time I listen to that, it gives me the shivers. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I
So
know.
good.
I every time I hear it,
Yeah,
it's
great. We're trying to
weird.
keep going. And, yeah.
The first time I actually heard it, when I broadcast it on the radio the other day, and I had it in my headphones, and it was just immense. What a sound!
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy to think that not one instrument or vocal or anything was recorded in the same room.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
mad. Absolutely
That's
mad.
the insane thing about it. And I think it's like when you listen to it, you don't necessarily think, you hear it as one whole project, whereas like actually working with it, like the amount of time and effort that like everyone put in that was involved, all the artists and everything was brilliant for us, because obviously like we got to sort of put it together piece by piece and hear it taking shape and things like that, and then to just release it to everybody all at once.
Yeah.
Like the reception to it's been incredible.
However long did it take you to mix that, Andy?
Well, I took the video side of things and worked on that. So everything that you see sort of visually, I sort of took control of. Whereas the audio side of things was all done by Gary, our keyboard player.
Okay.
So the nice thing about that was it was like we'd get all the files from everybody involved, and then we'd basically split them down the middle. I'd download the video side of things, Gary would download the audio side of things, and then between the three of us, so Gary, Charley, and myself, we'd all sort of we'd do group calls and everything, like pretty much every day, just seeing how we were, where we were getting on with it. And I think by the end of it, I think we ended up somewhere in the region of roughly about 40 to 50 audio tracks.
It got crazy, didn't it?
Yeah, and the video session for it was just unbelievable. I was across like 3 screens, like trying to get the timeline in so I could see it, and
Your laptop was so hot it melted through the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your poor computer.
It was incredible. So yeah, we were really chuffed with it, and like, obviously a massive shout to Gary who put all the work in with the audio side of things as
Yes,
well, which is
definitely.
which has
really
made
well.
things brilliant.
Thanks, Gary. Much love to you. I hope you're listening in. I'm sure he is.
Bless his heart.
It's just
No, it was really
awesome.
cool.
I mean, I can't believe. I mean, obviously, we knew you guys were doing it because obviously you told us, and then I sent you 12 audio tracks, didn't I, about 3 a.m. or something ridiculous like that.
That's right. I remember waking up in the morning and looking at my phone. I was like, oh, I got email. 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, crikey.
Well, the
That's
thing
a
is,
good effort.
I'm
That's
always-
commitment.
I know, right? But I'm always sort of on air until late, and it's quite noisy around here. I can't do it up here in the flat. I've got a flatmate. As much as I love him, he's got a surround system that makes you sound like you're in the Odeon. So it's
Incredible.
sometimes you'll hear it over my mic when I'm on air anyway. And I
Have
thought,
you watched the video through it yet?
No, I think I would definitely be blowing off the roof. I can't afford the repairs at the moment. So I
Worth
went
it.
down and recorded that in B2, like 3 a.m. in the morning. And my poor dog, he was really upset, as you can imagine. It was one of those things. It was like, oh, I could do this. Let me just add another track.
That's you start, don't you? And then you're like, I can hear the next one.
Yeah, and I thought it was getting later and later, and I was like, no, I really need to sleep. I got a 10 o'clock show in the morning. I was like, no, stop now and just send them. So it was quite fun. It was quite fun, and I didn't know a lot of the people that were involved, the guys that you'd approached to do that. So, and when we first watched it, I mean, Em watched it, and she said, "I've absolutely just cried my eyes out of this. You watch it." And I said, "Oh my God, I've just cried my eyes out of this." I sent it to Mum, and she's like, "I've just cried my eyes out." So you had us all in tears. Amazing. So yeah, thank you so much.
No, it was great fun. We wanted to kind of, keep it sort of under wraps and everything as well. And, it was just incredible the amount of people we contacted, and they said yes, sort of straight away and without question, which I thought was incredible for a musician to just go, yeah, okay, I'll join in. Don't know, it's just fantastic, really.
It's overwhelming, to be honest.
I think the really nice thing about that is, like Charlie said, touching on the fact of the amount of people that got involved and how willing people were and things like that. What really struck me with that was asking people to send audio for something, where they didn't have control over the finished product, because we wanted to do everything that we could to make sure that we represented everybody as well as we could, as it was physically possible, the way that we were doing things. And what amazed me was like Charlie said, the willingness for people to just go, yeah, sure, do with it whatever you want. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. And the nice thing for us was we managed to use everything that people sent. So we managed to fit it in and obviously give those people, a bit of a spotlight section in the song and things like that. But yeah, the willingness was the really overriding factor for us when we were putting it together. And I think what was nice about that was it just proved, how much everything meant to those people that were involved, because it showed that sense of community that we're all in this together. And if we can't, help do everything that we can to help the venues, then no one's going to have, anywhere to sort of to play and to play for an audience and things like that. So that was what really struck with me. Yeah,
we're a big Brickies family, you see. That's what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And all such good people. And I can't thank you guys enough for what you've done. It means the world. And to everybody that took part, it's every time we see it, it just brings a fresh wave of emotion. So you're going to have,
absolutely.
You'll have us in a bit of a mess every time we listen to it. So there's been a lot of talk about reopening and having this massive festival where all the bands and artists that took part actually come and do a set, and then we perform the song on stage live.
I think it's got to be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pure and simple. It's got to be done.
Yes, I don't think there's anything about simple involved in that, Charlie.
Come on, it's the Brickmakers. We'll pull it off. It's fine.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. I think we have been talking about it quite a lot, so I'm not sure.
That's the thing. That's what it was made for. It's to get everyone sort of talking about it. The whole campaign. It's got everyone talking and seeing it. It's put it in front of people, definitely. Which is the main thing. It's the whole reason we started it.
Yeah.
I remember.
Go on.
I was gonna say the
Your internet, mate.
Sort your connection out.
Thing to know.
Andy, stop! You sound like a robot.
It's like interviewing Stephen Hawking.
Many hundred years.
Oh no, he doesn't even know. Oh, bless his heart.
Andy, can you hear me? You've got a very dodgy connection. No.
Oh, he's gone.
It's not happening.
Well, that's all right.
It's not happening.
Well, what I was going to say is, I remember I was driving to work a few weeks ago, and I thought I saw some posts that you put up on Facebook, and it just kind of got me thinking. I rang Andy, and I was just talking to him about the whole thing and saying about, you know, recording. And then we sort of said, like, I said, oh, well, like if we record a song to sort of spread the awareness, whatever. And then a little while later, I called him back and I was like, okay, you got to hear me out. This is like totally ambitious with like the whole state of things at the moment. You know, I said, like, what about if we contact all the like local musicians and stuff that play at the Brickmakers, and, you know, just see if they'd be up for like singing a line in the track or playing a bit of the guitar or anything like that. I was like, as crazy as it sounds, like it was just an idea at that point. So like we spoke to Gary, and, you know, the train started rolling, sort of thing.
Rolling. It was more like a runaway train off the track, mate.
It definitely was. Yeah. It was just from a little idea, but I didn't really kind of know if it was totally feasible. You know, are we able to do this sort of thing? So, and luckily, like between us five, like we have the gear to record at home, so we were able to just record the basic sort of track, and able to send it out to people, and apparently it was doable, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it was more than doable. It was absolutely awesome. So cool. And we've had some lovely comments as well. People are saying nice things there. So
yeah,
the nice thing to take away from it all is, bear in mind. My internet is obviously running on dial-up.
You sounded
Someone needed to use the home phone, so the internet cut out.
Brilliant. Those were the days.
The nice thing about putting the track together the way that we did is obviously it was the first kind of experiment that we'd had of all recording everything separately. So now the nice thing with that is we now know that we never have to see each other ever again, and we can all just do things at home without having to talk to each other.
I don't think that's the idea, mate. Because you still have to come together to perform live, and you know that's the plan, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's the thing we're all absolutely gagging for.
I cannot wait for that day.
I know. And
honest to goodness,
I know, I'm with you all the way, and so is most of Norwich looking at this lot.
Yeah,
you know, it's getting a bit tiresome now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
and the difficult thing with it is not only have, you know, with the situation as it is at the moment, we've lost, you know, the ability to go out and perform live and things like that. We've also, you know, lost the ability to get together and rehearse and write. It's made that whole thing more difficult. And the overriding factor is obviously, like, we can't even go to the pub. So
I
know it's a sorry state of affairs at the moment, but hopefully we'll be coming out of this darkness very soon. Let's hope so.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
totally. I'm sure of it.
So other than you know, writing life-saving songs for, you know, struggling venues, what are you doing under lockdown at the moment? Before this crazy idea, did you have any other projects going on?
Well, I'm still working during lockdown because I work in care homes. Mm-hmm. So I look after the maintenance of like 3 care homes. So I've still been in and out, which is kind of nice to have a little bit of normality. But that was basically me, really.
And
yeah, I think that what was quite difficult for us is that when all of this came into like all this whole situation sort of reared its head, like all of a sudden, the difficulty for us sort of as a whole, as a band, was we literally just come out the other side from playing like a really awesome show, the first one of the year for us at the Brickies, with our Bon Jovi Def Leppard night, which was so good, and we had such a cracking time doing it. Like, it was probably, I'd say, for me personally, probably one of the best gigs we've ever played, the most enjoyable gigs that we've ever played.
It's such a shame, isn't it? Because, you know, you had the next one was lined up and ready to go, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
That was supposed to be next month, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we got 1 or 2 rehearsals in for that one, and, you know, we were just starting to get really, really into it, and, you know, start to put the show together and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, you know, this comes out of nowhere, and it's a bit like, oh no, what do we do now? You know, where does this leave us? And
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge. So it was nice to be able to sort of channel our energies into something productive and something musical. But yeah, it's that sort of thing of the not knowing when we're going to be able to get back to it to start with, but like we're all just really itching to get going again and to write and record and get out and perform.
Tell me about it. I mean, I was 3 weeks away from our launch gig with Southbound. That was on like Easter Sunday here. We'd worked so hard to get to the point where we were ready, and it was like, you know, oh no, it feels like it's never going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally.
But it will. It definitely.
Oh yeah, of course it will. But yeah, that's the thing. You just got to kind of carry on, do what you can. Like Andy says, it's nice to have like something to channel your energies into. Like I think we're gonna continue to write and record and stuff.
I was going to
like,
say, are we going to see a new song come out of this?
Yeah,
it's quite possible.
Yeah, I think we might as well. You know.
Well, why not?
Exactly. We know we can do it now.
So, how long have you guys actually all been together now?
10 years.
Wow.
I think,
yeah. So yeah, Charley and I have been together now for over 10 years, and I think the other guys are we're now at least 4 years as the current lineup.
Yeah, because with Gary coming in,
which is pretty amazing, you know, because I think for Charley and myself, going way back to sort of some of the first gigs we played and stuff like that, thinking, you know, 10 years down the line, like, you know, have an album out and, you know, be lining up some really awesome gigs and stuff like that. It is really good, you know. It's great for us, and having the rest of the boys in for such a long time now, you know, it's got to that point where a lot of the time you don't even have to, you know, say a lot of those, oh, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that kind of things when it comes to writing or recording. You know, everyone's on the same wavelength and pushing in the same direction.
Yeah.
You know, we're all aiming for the same thing, like that sort of one goal for everybody. So it's great. You know, the lineup, the boys are really good. They're always up for trying anything, even as crazy as this most recent idea has been. Everyone was in straight from the start, and they were like, yeah, fine, send it to me as soon as, I'll get it done as soon as. And
it was crazy. We were, Andy and I were watching some videos on YouTube the other night of, they were like some video blogs that we'd recorded years and years ago. And we were at the Brickmakers then.
No way.
That was those videos must have been near on 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah. It was just so good to see him again. It was crazy. It's
kind of mad, isn't it? Because if you look back and you think, like, if you'd have known where you would be now, you know, because you're married now, Charley, and you got Lynn, haven't you? So it's just so bizarre.
I know, it's crazy. You see this grow up.
I know, I did.
Somewhat.
Well.
You're getting there. I know. Slowly but surely, lads. Come along now.
That's it. But it's fantastic, really. The Brickmakers has like been part of my life for years. Like I can't remember life without the Brickmakers now. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with a little bit of luck and a lot of love, then you're not going to have to. So
that's it.
Yeah, we're not going to think about that. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked to everybody who I speak to on a Wednesday, and you're going to hate me for it. The question is, if you could only take one song into lockdown, what would it be?
One song?
One song.
Easy. It'd have to be the new Fearless.
There we go. Such an easy answer. I knew.
You can't have anything else.
I knew you were going to say that. Because you've got like a stadium gig in your ears, haven't you?
Exactly. You get a bit of everything. Like you get all different genres, all different singers, you know, all different guitar players, and what more could you need?
So what about you, Charley? Because you can't say that now because it's just going to make you look like a cop out.
It's a difficult one. Yeah, Andy just took the easy way out. Come on. Now. That is honestly a very difficult question.
See, a lot of people, when I put them on the spot like that, they name it instantly.
I
Because,
like so many things. This is the problem.
yeah, it is. Okay, go on then. What's your favourite song to play live? That might be an easier one.
Okay. My favourite song is probably the song we open with, "Good Man Down."
Okay, what
Like
about
one of
you
our
then,
own.
Andy?
Oh, mine would be completely the other end of the set list. Born Ready, get everyone up, get everyone dancing, finish the night on a proper banger. Get
Yeah,
everyone involved.
that's one of my faves, I have to admit.
I just love. I don't know. Something about standing there. When you're about to start playing, you're standing there. Everyone's all eyes are on you, and there's just that your heart is like beating out of your chest, and it's just that feeling, the adrenaline just before it kicks off, and then the song comes in. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Off
proper
we go.
nervous energy.
If you could bottle some of those feelings, the adrenaline, and you'd be a millionaire.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
there'd be a lot less addicts in the world, I think.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't think it's a feeling you can ever explain to anybody, actually.
No.
And on the flip side, the come down after a gig, I don't know about you guys, but I always used to get a massive crash after an awesome gig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure like we've all had those nights, where you play a really, really awesome gig, like top to bottom of the set list, the whole thing, and you get that real buzz, and then you probably spend the entire night like completely awake, and you're like, you're just like buzzing and buzzing and buzzing, and then you get that crash, don't you? And you're like, oh, why can't I do that again? Like, why is the next gig so far away? Like, they always seem so far apart, don't they? When you're really loving it.
I know, but that's why we do it at the end of the day, isn't it? Because let's face it, it's not easy work, is it? You arrive at 6, you get home at 2 in the morning, you get paid peanuts basically, and you do it because you love it, because it's that
absolutely.
simple.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things with us when we were putting these new shows together. We're doing, there's a lot of people out there that they go out and they do the sort of the tribute circuit and stuff like that, which is great because people love to go out and hear the songs that they love, like played in the live environment and stuff like that. The thing with us was, obviously, it gave us an opportunity to take loads of different bands that we love and just do a taster of each one. And the nice thing with that is it gave us the opportunity to get out, play our own stuff, but play the songs that we love, like in a live environment, but draw so many people out who love watching it. And it's like we all said the same thing pretty much at the end of that the Bon Jovi Def Leppard night that we did. Like, we were all like, I don't care, don't care about the money, it doesn't matter. Like, I just, I'd rather play to a room full of people, than I'd rather, than make 10 times the amount of money and play to like half the crowd. It's the buzz that you get from the people, and
there's there's definitely no feeling like standing in front of a live audience.
No.
Who are just absolutely rocking.
Yeah.
There's that moment, like we've all had it. You kind of stand there, the audience is absolutely rocking, and there's the feeling is just insane. It's crazy, and that right there is I think why we all do this. It's like people people enjoying the music, having such a great time. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons that we've made such a sort of home feeling about the Brickmakers, because it was the first time that we really experienced as a band, big proper stage, proper like lighting, stage sound, and like playing those first the bank holiday gigs and the Brickfests and stuff like that, where you'd play to an audience that were there was a lot of people there that had probably never seen you, and it gave you that push to get out there and really just go, right, I'm going to go out and perform as as well and as hard as I can for like to try and win these people over that have never seen you before. And it's that vibe of just playing to such a decent room full of people that are all there just because they love music and they love the atmosphere, and I think that's where it all started for us, as like a major like let's really do this and do as well as we can do with it.
And I think once you've done it once, you get that bug, and that's it. You just can't stop.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
Sal actually texted me this morning and she said, you do realise what day it is, don't you? And I was like, it's the 20th of May. She's like, yeah, you know what we were doing 25 years ago? I was like, oh God, now you're going to make me feel old. We were preparing for our first gig as Pure Passion.
Oh my God.
25 years ago at the Whiffler, just down the road. Those were the days.
It's doing this whole thing, the track and everything. Like I wrote a Facebook post when it came out, and it's true. Like one of the reasons like behind it for like me thinking about it and why I really wanted to do this sort of project was like when we first started out, you guys just opened like with open arms, let us come in and play at the B2, the Brickmakers. You guys like provided us with a stage, like full professional setup, and we were able to play in front of a live audience, which, you know, you can't get anywhere, like you can't get any further or progress as a musician until you've done that. And like what you gave to us helped us like grow as musicians, as a band, and like you continue to do that for like countless bands. You know, it's just incredible that we have like somewhere to do that.
Yeah,
but I think that's the ethos of the Brickies, to be totally honest. That's the whole reason, you know, 16 years ago, well, it's actually 17 years ago now, that we sat there that night and decided to jump in with both feet and take on the biggest challenge of our lives, you know, because when I was a kid, we had nowhere to play. You know, I did my first gig actually here when I think I must have been about 14 or 15, and I've been playing around the city ever since then in different bands and duos and goodness knows what else. But I always had to lie about my age because in those days, kids, you know, kids weren't allowed in pubs. So, you know, a lot of the older ladies in the bands that I was with, you know, were sticking slap on my face, trying to, you know, make me look older than I was. And, you know, they always saying, oh, you know, oh, she's 18, that's fine. And that's how it was for me. And had they have not done that, I wouldn't have had a chance to, you know, grow and develop and find out musically who I wanted to be. And I always said, you know, if we get that chance, we'll provide that opportunity. I
remember when we first started, and we had Kyle and Dane in the band, the twins, and I was still in school. So I was like, what was I, Andy? Like 15, 16?
Yeah, but
Andy's older than I am, and like I do remember going to venues. And going to walk in to load in and things like that, and they'd be like, "No, I'm sorry, you can't come in." I'm like, "But I'm playing. I'm in the band." I do remember having to navigate those sort of problems.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can remember one of the things when we started out, just like from what Charlie said when he was so young, going out and playing those first few gigs that we played, and like wherever they could be. And I can remember one of the first times we played at the Brickies, and I'm pretty sure it was Emma that came up at the end of the night and just went, "How does that voice come out of that boy?"
That's a fair point, though.
No,
bless him. You got a big gob, Charlie. That's what it is.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologise, mate. Absolutely not. I have to say, I really like your room. It looks rather pink.
Oh, thank you. That's good, isn't it?
Is it actually pink? Are the lights pink, or is it just?
Yeah, they are pink.
Ah, look at you.
There you go. This is what you'd like to see. There you go.
Oh, now you're talking. Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Mine are all running up the stairs.
Are they?
Yeah, it's cool.
That's next. Don't you worry. I'm going to convince Alex.
If you're going to do that, I need to just warn you about coming home a little bit tipsy, though, and going up to bed.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Because you do.
I'm just thinking now that I probably need to make them a bit higher so Darcy can't reach them when she gets a bit older.
Yes, good plan.
I think I might have to install a vault door or something.
That might be going a little bit overboard.
She can't be getting my guitars. What?
No, you need to be teaching her.
She can have a ukulele.
Well, aren't you very kind? Bless her. Oh dear.
Amazing.
So, other than obviously work, Charlie, and well, doing what you've done for us, have you got anything more in the pipeline? When lockdown is over, are you literally going to pick up where you know?
Yeah,
stopped?
I think because we were supposed to play a gig at the Brickmakers because people don't know, like the only gigs we were playing this year of our own headline shows were just all going to be at the Brickmakers spread across the year, and I think the next one was supposed to be next month, and I think we're just going to push the date to the next one, and we'll play that night in August, I think is the next date. So
yeah.
like as soon as sort of lockdown ends, we'll sort of get back in the rehearsal and start rehearsing, because that's the problem. The sort of gigs we were playing are like themed nights. We have our own music, which is fine. Like we've played it, we know that fairly well now. Well, I say now, we haven't played it now for quite a few weeks. But we have to learn like quite a few new songs that like maybe none of us have ever played before. We probably know them, but so obviously without rehearsing we can't just go straight into gigs, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
But I think we probably will just continue as soon as lockdown, like you can go rehearse, we're off.
Yeah,
straight
definitely.
down there.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought once lockdown started, I thought, all right, I'll play my bass every day, make sure I don't forget any songs, and my bass is sitting next to me on a stand. And I have to say, from the minute I started this radio show, I haven't picked it up.
Hey, really?
No, I'm never away from my computer, other than to crawl to my bed. So
I think I probably have played quite a lot. I'm usually just playing rhythm guitar most of the time. So I've actually spent when I'm not at work or anything, I'm here looking after Darcy or whatever, I'm pretty much playing guitar, and I'm sort of learning lead guitar and things like that. I've had great fun talking to Lewis, just getting some tips and stuff.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
I'm just trying to use the time.
Well, that's good. At least you're not sitting about watching NAF on TV. Because
I can't do that.
No.
I went pretty much the same way that you went in, like Charlie. In as much as as soon as this all sort of came about, I was like, yeah, great, cracking. I would just sit around, play guitar, play a bit of bass,
Yep.
do this, start making use of the time. But because I'm not working, but Amy, my other half is, and like she's doing really important work like on behalf of sort of banking people. She just kind of went, oh, you've got a load of like screens and monitors, and am I all right to just use that for a couple of days until work sort me out with some stuff? I was like, yeah, fine. So I've got all my gear, all my guitars up in a room, and she's in there doing work all day every day, which left me sitting about kind of going, okay, what am I going to do? So my garden now looks fantastic, and I've redecorated the bathroom,
Oh,
but
well
I've not
done.
picked my guitar up for a few weeks.
Come on.
Right, that needs to change. Come along now. You've got gigs
yeah,
to prepare for.
I did knock down my kitchen wall yesterday, which was quite fun.
Just for fun,
Accidentally or deliberately?
I just looked at it, I was like, this is naff, so got the old sledgehammer out.
I hope it wasn't
It'll be
load
gone.
bearing, Charlie.
No, it wasn't, don't worry. All the safety cautions were taken. Don't
Did it
worry.
look like that Def Leppard video where they're all destroying the house?
Yes, it did actually.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Well, we don't want any injuries, please. Watch your hands. You've got very important guitar fingers there.
Yeah, okay.
All right, guys. Well, I shall let you go and stop chatting your ears off, because I really can talk all day.
I could literally do this. Maybe we should just start a podcast and start talking about things.
Well, why
I
not?
reckon.
I'm totally up. Talking about what?
If we're going to do that, he needs to sort his video out. Look.
He does. It's appalling, really. Look at this. Look, see? Why can't you do this?
Are you in the middle of nowhere, Andy? Hey.
I am, yeah. It's just like there's a lot of demand on my bandwidth at the moment coming from upstairs.
Right. Oh, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's working.
Yeah.
Did you say banking?
Yes, with a B.
That's a relief. This is before the watershed, lads. Come along.
That's right.
Right, so yeah, I am going to play one of your tracks as you leave.
Ooh,
I'm going to play
amazing.
Adrian, actually, because it's one of my faves.
Cool. This one is for Adrian.
A man out in the field.
Oh,
He
so
is.
he is. You do know an Adrian that you've written it for?
Yeah.
Well, it's not actually written for him. We had the song, and I think it was one of the first gigs we played it at. It probably was the first gig, and I had it on the set list as just new song, and we was like, well, what are we going to call it? And there's a guy who comes to most of our gigs. He takes lots of photographs for us, and he's called Adrian.
Uh-huh.
So, like, we might as well just call it Adrian, and we called it that night.
He's the guy that got the picture of me falling off the stage on New Year's Eve.
Oh yes, he did.
That was quite an
prime,
achievement.
That prime photo.
Yeah, so we just sort of named it Adrian that night, and it just stuck. And now it's on the album called Adrian. It's got absolutely nothing to do with him, but
Brilliant.
it's as good a name as any.
Why not? But, I really like the thing I love about a lot of your tracks is actually the anthemic, parts of them that bring massive opportunity for crowd participation with the singing and stuff, and you can just hear it, and I love it in this one. That's why I like it, and I like hearing everybody singing along with it as well.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I was trying to find it actually, because I was like, no, I don't want to play that one. I couldn't remember what it was called. And then I just thought, Adrian. Can't remember what that goes like. And I played it and I was like, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's the most unhelpful title for a song ever.
Yeah, I know, right? I could remember the chorus, and I kept looking, do one thing for me. I kept looking for little bits of lines from the song, and I was like, no, I'm not doing very well here.
Maybe we should just name all of our songs like things like that. Just next one's Christopher, and and so on.
And then everyone's got to listen through the album to find the one they want.
That's not a bad marketing ploy, really, is it?
Well,
All right, lads. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Love you so much.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Lovely to see you.
And you've got quite a few listeners and watchers as well. So
Hey.
give them all a wave
Amazing.
and say goodbye. And
Bye-bye.
we'll see you all for a
Bye.
gig very, very soon. Here's Adrian. Thanks, lads. Take care. This is Adrian by Blind Tiger.